What do Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, and Khamzat Chimaev all have in common? The answer is they all won their last fight, but did so in a way that lost their fans' respect. Khamzat beat DDP due to 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time. Islam beat JDM due to 19 minutes and 20 seconds of control time. And Oliveira beat Max with 20 minutes and 30 seconds of, once again, control time. Well, guess what? A lot of UFC fans find this type of fight quite boring. And this is where the other side of the fan base says things like,
"If you find these fights boring, then you're clearly a casual. Go watch a boxing match then. This is mixed martial arts."
Well, here's the thing. You just proved our point. If this is MMA, then mix the martial arts. Don't just lay on top of somebody and hold them in place the whole fight, especially when control time is by far the most boring way to be dominant. It's even scored lower by the judges than other forms of aggression.
And I don't know all of the rules, but I don't want to.
If you want to watch 20 minutes of grappling, maybe you're the one who should go watch wrestling instead. Most UFC fans want to see blood, knockouts, and people going to sleep. Cage fighting is a manifestation of our primal instinct to literally slay each other over resources and ego, so we like our chosen warriors to bring that ready-to-die mentality to the octagon, and it's also why we value damage over many other metrics.
You can't win a fight by just laying on top of somebody. That's not how it works.
And here is where we discover why Oliveira does not deserve the BMF belt. That may sound extreme, but I'm going to prove it. And I want you to understand that I'm actually a big fan of Dubronx. He was my favorite fighter for years, and I still consider him a savage, but that does not mean he's above criticism. In a couple minutes, I'll show you a quote from the man himself that everyone seemed to miss, which reveals his mentality as a fighter and the reason I say he doesn't deserve this particular award. But in order to prove my point, we first have to ask what a BMF even is.
I don't know the answer to that question. I would have to talk to the matchmakers.
Since Ilia Topuria exists and currently rules over the lightweight division, we know the BMF doesn't mean the best or the most skillful fighter. So let's start with that. It's not about winning or even dominance. And this is the reason everyone says it's a meaningless joke belt, but I'm actually going to challenge that a little. Was the belt created to artificially generate hype? Absolutely. But as a fan base, we've gone along, and now we have certain expectations. I believe there is a specific criteria that both the UFC and the fans assign to the BMF. First, look at who's fought for this belt so far. Diaz, Masvidal, Justin, Dustin. These are all men who were willing to go straight into the fire, risking everything in search of a violent finish. Holloway's career is probably the worst example of this. However, when he pointed down to the mat and risked it all to give the fans an exciting moment against Justin, that was the moment when the fans started caring.
He could have easily been 4 rounds up.
BMF.
My God.
That's a BMF.
That's a BMF.
That was the moment when the belt started to actually mean something to us. And it wasn't just the knockout. It was how badass Max was for throwing strategy to the wind and providing us with pure, unfiltered violence. It was courageous, sportsmanlike, and animalistic all at the same time. And when it comes to Oliveira, he has shown us this fearless fighting spirit many times.
Oh, he hurt again!
It's why we love him, the way he wades into a firefight, his willingness to take punishment in order to give some. But that is not the Charles we saw on Saturday night. And of all the fights to play it safe, he chose one with a baddest MFer title on the line? It's such a shame. And why did he do it? Here's a look at that clip I promised from his Octagon interview immediately after the fight.
These dudes come here and talk a lot of crap. We come here, we do a lot of beautiful things for our family. We fight and we do great things for our kids.
What I take from this is that Charles knew his game plan was boring and that people would complain, but he's there to look out for himself and his family, and the fans' expectations are not nearly as important to him as getting those checks. And personally, I don't find that very BMF. Money corrupts all these guys eventually. It seduces their fighting spirit and makes them soft on the inside no matter how many abs they have. That's just part of the game, and I don't hate Charles for it. But I'm also not going to pretend that a dominant victory is the same thing as a badass one. Feel free to share your own thoughts below, and if you'd like to see something way less serious, click the video on screen now. I promise you've never seen anything like it. Cheers.